Today I'm going to run through email deliverability guide and basically how to get your emails to land in an inbox. This is something that I really wish I had known when I first started this. My first email account I burned, and possibly like the next 20, just because I didn't listen to this. So I would seriously just like do what I say on this, otherwise you'll come back to this in like 10 weeks time and go, this is why it doesn't work. But yeah, let me run you through. So the main goal is for the email providers to feel like you're sending personalized emails to a friend rather than like promotional content or anything like that. Or basically, because of all of the scams and stuff that go around, the closer your email looks to that, the more likely it's going to end up in the spam folder or promotional folder, or basically not the inbox. So there's a couple of tricks for this and I'm going to run you through them. So the first one to do, if you're using Instantly, which is what we recommend, go through and disable open tracking. Basically how it works is they embed links, Instantly or whoever, embed links which they use to track whether or not people click on it. The first thing is there's bots that go and click on that link for you to see whether it's going to like scam you or anything like that, which means your deliverability, like the open rate, is all a lie anyway because there's no actual way to track it. So just scrap it completely, get rid of it, and basically it just means there's a link in your email that no one's able to actually identify where it comes from, what it is, and if they are, they're going to recognize, oh, it's an instantly open link, and you're just going to go to spam. So scrap that. Main thing to look for is reply rate, ideally positive reply rate, but just track that and make sure you keep on top of it. I'm not going to dive into configuration of domains and stuff like that. There is a video on that, just go through that and watch it. So for the proper warm-up process, you want 2 weeks minimum for warming. If you're using Instantly, which we recommend, you can literally just set this up and it will warm for you anyway. There's nothing you need to do. It also gradually increases it from, I believe, 1, or you can set it to 4. We always set them to 4 within Instantly, and it will just automatically warm up. You can just set a cap on it, so it's only sending 30 warm-up emails a day. And then that keeps your daily total under 60 as we send 30 warm-up and 30 campaign emails. Sometimes even lower than this, especially if we're doing Clipio or Loom Outreach or anything like that. You will want it lower than that. So let me show you what I mean. So if I just log on to our Instantly. Awesome. So if we go to, I want to be on emails. So as you can see, we've got 254 emails that we use for us and clients and stuff like that. We're currently limiting them to 50 emails per day just because we've got such a cheap way to do it. And as you can see, most of these inboxes have like hundreds of warm-up emails sent. I'd also like to add this health score from Instantly. It's just completely made up. Don't trust it at all. In fact, I would love to find out a way to get rid of this. But let me show you. So this is how the warm-up works. It seems to just be capped at 30 at the minute, which is fine, so it means it's just started the warm-up sequence. As you can see, it's been staggered and building up to 30. The settings for this is fairly straightforward. You've literally just got here, so number of emails that you want to send, wait time between it, and then the warm-up. We've set it to increase 4 per day so that we can get to that 30 slightly quicker. However, they suggest 1. We've seen no issues with using 4. We've also bumped up the reply rate. It suggests 30%. However, we're going off the basis that people aren't necessarily going to reply to these emails when they're going out. So we want it to be 30% after the warm and the cold ones are being sent out, if that makes sense. So if we're sending like 30 warming emails and 65% of them are being replied to, then by the time we're sending 60 and cold emails, and let's say nobody replies to those, we are still above that 30% suggested reply rate, which makes it just look like a more real, genuine account. Because if you think about it, how many emails do you leave unread? It's probably less than 50%. So we want to kind of aim within that. I don't think there's anything else on there to add to, so we'll just carry on. Email content rules, so no links. If you're doing Clipio or one of the other outreach methods that we teach in here, that makes an exception. Just be aware that you're going to want to send a lower volume and keep the number of links to as low as possible. No unsubscribe links, and save the links for like once the prospect has replied. So if you want to send them your website, whatever, wait till they've replied and send it over. Just concentrate on providing enough value in the message copy that you don't need any links. With subject lines, basically all we want to do is make sure that people are opening them. That is the only thing a subject line is used for. If you can add personalizations in, bonus, even if it's just name, company name, whatever, and that just drives curiosity with the subject line. So the next, like, here's a couple of examples. By all means, have a read through. Once again, avoid making it sales focused in the subject line. Awesome. So number 5, personalization and variation. So one of the best performing campaigns we have ever had, and at the time we didn't even realize this was why, is using AI personalization into it. It's embedded into Instantly now, but we've got tools that I will also run you through, which means you can do research on this individual and the company and stuff like that and personalize the email. So our first line is always personalized. We are using AI to go onto their website, scrape a load of data, and then personalize it. So every single email is different. There's never been the 2 same emails sent. Whereas if you're just swapping name every time, then very quickly inboxes can spot that they've received 500 of these emails in that layout. So we use a cool thing called spin tags, which I can show you on Instantly. So let's just make a new campaign so I can show you what it looks like. So if you go on to sequencing, you can put hello, goodness me, how are you, did you get my email? And then if we click on AI tools, AI spin text writer, click on that, it will rewrite your whole entire email, so just be aware. But basically it's able to change each one. So instead of everyone receiving hello, obviously you want name, you've got hi there, greetings, good day, and then each one of these is going to be different. Same for the next row, same for the row after that. So if you can get to the point where obviously your offer probably doesn't need to change every time, but if you can change the bit either side of it, then it looks like it's a completely unique email every single time. Really, really powerful, something I wish that we'd been doing for longer. And then obviously if you can add AI personalization into it as well, then even bigger bonus. Once again, just normal personalization, including first name, company name, literally anything like that. Obviously I wouldn't put their website URL because then you're adding a link, but if you can add any of that based on where you're getting your data from, if you're using Apollo or any of those kind of places, and normally it gives you some kind of information. Like we used to send people like, oh, just checking, is this your address? And stuff like that. And admittedly we were sending freebies, but that worked really well because every single time there was 3 lines which was their address that was on there, and like nobody ever replied back being like, no, where the hell have you got that address from? It was more just them kind of engaging with it. So where have we got to? Quality control. So this is a really good one as well. So basically with the keywords that are being typed into this, you are going to try and come across as least salesy as possible. So there's different tools out there. Mail Meteor is one. Looks at a kind of the words that you're using in the email is how likely it is to come up in spam, if that makes sense. So there's a free plan, just go give it a try. But basically it goes off the basis that if you're searching, like if you're adding words like free trial or guarantee, stuff like that are all words that flag up as like spam related words. So a good way to get around this is using a tool like Mail Meteor, or there's loads of other ones. If you just use like spam keyword trigger tools, there's loads of them, and just go on and type out, copy and paste your email copy into it, and it might be a case that you're able to change it up. Instead of like, I don't know, let me think of an example, free in capital bold letters is flagged for that, then you can just change it to free not in bold capital letters, and your chances are your email's going to land in the inbox. There's loads and loads of different things like that, like numbers, actually typing out the number instead of using just the number 3 or whatever. that seems to do better for whatever reason. But basically you can go through and check all of this, and yeah, it will rebuild your whole entire campaign. However, it's better that people see a slightly different version of your email copy than not receiving it at all. So another thing to do is space out the delays between follow-up emails. We normally do 2 or 3 days. Don't bombard people with an email every single day. I mean, you can do, but it will affect your deliverability because you're more likely to be reported for spam. Whereas if you space it out a bit, it bothers people less. You are seen as less persistent, but so like, give it a try. But when you're first starting off with new email accounts, I'd probably space it slightly longer and then build up to that. And then we've just got a couple more. So best practices for success: sending under 60 emails, which we talked about. Previewing all campaigns before sending. Make sure that you've replaced name properly and stuff like that. So just check the previews. We also use that as an opportunity to send the email to ourselves. So we'll send it to all of our business emails, all of our personal emails, and just test them to see if they even land in the inbox. Because if they don't, then you need to change something. And that is really the best way to do it. There's loads of tools online to check deliverability, but on the whole, you're actually better to just manually check it against your own emails. Yeah, making sure you're targeting the right people with your emails. Like, you can build the most amazing email campaign, say exactly the right things, but if you're emailing the wrong people, they're not going to give a toss. So make sure your lead list is good, and also make sure that they're relevant. It's a really good way to avoid ending up in spam and being reported for spam. Double check all personalizations have worked correctly. So if you're inserting variables, AI personalization, whatever, once again, just preview the campaign and check. Your response rate is going to be the key metric. Yes, it would be great if we can work out how many people have opened the email, but there's no point nobody being able to open the email because it's landing in spam. If you're using Clipio or Loom Outreach or any of those other systems, it will also log that data and like give you a timestamp of what people have watched and when and stuff like that, which is another way to you can like make the most of those metrics. But realistically, it doesn't really matter if 2 million people open it. If nobody replies, you're still doing something wrong. And then our last one, remove non-responses and bounce email addresses as soon as possible. Instantly has actually updated this and does that for you. However, it's still worth kind of checking that these emails are valid and stuff like that, and kind of like making the most of that. We're nearly done, honest. So, a couple of mistakes to avoid: sending too many emails too quickly. That is what I did on my first email account, where I thought 200 emails in a day would be completely fine, and ended up burning the email account. So just stick within the 30. I mean, ideally stick below that. Stick at 15, 20. Like, we've shown you how to get emails for really, really cheap. So just make the most of that and accept the fact that yes, you've bought it for half the prices instantly, or GoDaddy or wherever. Just do twice as many on twice as many accounts and send 15 instead of 30, and you'll still reach the same number of people for the same cost. Don't use promotional language. You want it to be as if you're writing to a friend. Imagine how you would email your mate if you knew about this amazing opportunity that you had for them. Like, do it like that. Admittedly, obviously still use all of the biases and stuff like that, but still make the most of it. Don't include links in cold email. Don't skip the warm-up period. Make sure emails are verified, and change the email copy every now and then, whether that's spin text or ideally spin text and AI personalization, and then making sure that all of your personalization errors are all good. So once again, monitoring for success, tracking reply rates, and that's the main focus. You're aiming for at least 2%. Monitor inbox placement and watch for spam complaints. But the main thing really is to just send yourself some emails every now and then. We do this weekly, and we just make sure that all of the emails are still landing in our inbox. We've got also plenty of email accounts that we're using on this, so we can email them back and forth and things like that. If you really want, you can use some of the free tools online. Just be aware that their inboxes are a bit questionable at best anyway. Probably won't do you any favours. But yeah, I hope that's helpful. There'll be a link for this below, and if not, just drop us a message and I'll send it over. But yeah, that should give you a massive head start from at least from where I was with email deliverability.